Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, an Amber Alert out of Gonzales County ended with one suspect in custody.
A middle school student in Uvalde brings a gun to school grounds. What we know this evening.
Tensions rise in the Middle East following the death of 3 Americans.
Tomorrow, Friday, we've got a good start to the day, but late at night, Friday night and into Saturday, we may have some thunderstorms around here. We'll have all the latest coming up in a few minutes.
And it is UIL realignment day. Who's staying put, who's moving around, and what does it mean for East and West? I'll have that in just a few moments.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
2 suspects were taken into custody by Victoria police with the help of U.S. Marshals Monday. 21-year-old Erasmo Garcia and 18-year-old Rico Macias were arrested in the 1200 block of John Stockbauer Drive. This was a day after a shooting occurred in the 3200 block of Cypress Street. Over 30 gun rounds were fired at a home. No one in the home was hurt. Garcias and Macias were identified as members of violent criminal gangs. They are both charged with deadly conduct, firearm of a discharge, and tampering or fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair. Those 2 are in the Victoria County Jail. No bond set on those charges.
Wednesday morning at around 9 o'clock, the DPS pulled over this truck hauling a horse trailer. This was on Highway 59, about 8 miles west of Goliad. The truck was registered in Edinburgh. Authorities found 11 undocumented people hiding in the horse trailer. The 42-year-old driver had an ID from Mission and is a U.S. citizen. Authorities detained 9 people, including the driver, and about 3 to 4 people got away. The driver is charged with 8 counts of human smuggling. Now, a 55-year-old suspect was arrested in DeWitt County this week. Timothy Bolt faces 2 charges, including aggravated robbery and interference with an emergency request for assistance. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of $85,000 bond.
A canine officer played a big role in a Wharton County arrest Thursday morning. Wharton County Sheriff's deputies stopped a stolen GMC Sierra on U.S. Highway 59 South near County Road 224. The vehicle had been reported stolen to Houston police. The driver of the vehicle, 45-year-old Rabel Jimenez, a Cuban citizen, ran from the vehicle and into a nearby wooded area. Wharton County Sheriff's Office Canine Thor found Jimenez there. He was arrested for evading arrest or detention and unauthorized use of a vehicle and is now in the Wharton County Jail. A suspect has been arrested in connection with an Amber Alert from Gonzales County this week. Wednesday, San Marcos police found and safely recovered Scarlett Smith, a missing juvenile associated with that Amber Alert. They also arrested 22-year-old Barry Van Mersbergen in connection with the Amber Alert. He faces 5 charges, including harboring a runaway child and a probation violation from Dallas County. Van Mersbergen is in the Hays County Jail.
Victoria County Sheriff's deputies responded to a crash this morning at around 7 o'clock near Bloomington High School on FM 616. Deputies found a truck crashed into a utility pole, but the driver was nowhere to be found. The utility company was called in to fix the damage, and now the search for that driver continues into tonight. And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Well, thank you very much. Another pretty good looking spring-like day. We got up to about 74 today, but we are looking out west, not in West Texas, out in Western California, actually Albuquerque, Arizona. That's our frontal system that'll be here Friday night into Saturday morning. Now, ordinarily rain is rain, but this could be actually a little thunder shower activity, so it could be a little stormy overnight. Though we'll have all the latest weather details coming up in just a few minutes, so stay tuned.
Mac, thank you. And now on to the latest on the rising tensions in the Middle East. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin appearing for the first media briefing since his hospitalization.
He provided new details on the attack that claimed the lives of 3 U.S. service members, as well as an insight into the U.S. response.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, appearing at his first public briefing since his hospitalization, says he and President Biden will not tolerate attacks on American troops.
They have a lot of capability. I have a lot more.
Austin says the attack that killed 3 American soldiers, wounding 47 others in Jordan, came from a one-way attack drone that hit service members' living quarters. ABC News learning the drone was Iranian-made, the same type of drone being used by the Russians in Ukraine. A U.S. official telling ABC News the retaliatory strike will hit multiple countries, including Iraq, Syria, and possibly Yemen, over a number of days.
Our goal is to make sure that we continue to take away capability from the Houthis to do what they've been doing.
This is going to be a multi-phased operation that tries to degrade the infrastructure that Iran uses to support these proxy groups.
Austin says the U.S. will work to avoid a wider war in the region, but calls the attack on Tower 22 egregious.
These are Iranian proxy groups, and how much Iran knew or didn't know, we don't know, but it really doesn't matter because Iran sponsors these groups, it funds these groups.
Secretary Austin says the U.S. response will be significant. He says he believes the Houthis do not have a one-and-done mindset. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
A student took a gun to Morales Junior High School in Uvalde on Thursday. KSAT reports a campus officer was told about the weapon from another student. The handgun was taken and the student was removed from the campus. Authorities told parents that the student would not be allowed back to the campus. Several parents of Morales Junior High students said their children were threatened directly by the student with the gun.
Officials in Dallas say 4 people are dead after a police chase ended in a vehicle crash near Interstate 35 this morning. The pursuit started in the early hours of 2 a.m. when officers located a stolen vehicle and attempted to stop the driver. Officers then followed the vehicle, not knowing how many occupants were inside until the drivers lost control near I-35. All 4 of the people inside the vehicle died.
So this is a tragic event. I won't speak to the specifics of it, but I will say that it's a very tragic event. So the Irving Police Department is allowed to pursue stolen vehicles. You know, officers are required to constantly monitor the situation as they're in the pursuit of a vehicle. I will say that time goes fast, or it seems like it goes fast in a pursuit, but it's their job to make sure that they're being safe at all times.
One Dallas County Sheriff's deputy was hurt during the pursuit, where he suffered a minor injury and was released from the hospital. But details, including what speeds the vehicles were traveling, have not been released yet. Now, a glitch in financial aid forms is keeping students with immigrant parents from applying for college grants. Parents without a social security number still cannot complete the new FAFSA online. The U.S. Education Department has not said when it plans to fix the issue. You can read the full story by the Texas Tribune on our CrossroadsToday.com website.
And for now, here's our Vero poll. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote. Question is, do you know someone who experienced difficulties with the new version of FAFSA, as it's called? Yes or no? And we look at the numbers. 100% of the voters say no. We thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have an update on 25 News Now at 10. Well, traveling through 9 states over 2.5 days, the Take Our Border Back convoy made its way towards Central Texas Wednesday. The group wants to peacefully protest and call on the U.S. government to secure the border with Mexico. Fred Summers, a supporter of the convoy, says he just wanted to show support and wave them on.
It's a way that I can say thank you to those guys. Enjoy this is like 4th of July for me. This is a patriotic get-together.
The group started in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and plans to head to Eagle Pass as a way to show support for Governor Greg Abbott's border policies.
Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller will speak in Victoria tonight. Miller will speak at a campaign event for State Representative District 30 candidate A.J. Louderback. The event is at the club at Colony Creek, located at 301 Colony Creek Drive, until 7:30 p.m. The event will also feature a message from Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Homelessness can result from a variety of reasons, and every person's situation is unique. That's why the Victoria County Public Health Department hosted their Faces of Homelessness panel at UHB today. Multiple speakers shared their experience with being homeless while also answering questions. Terry Ashcraft dealt with homelessness and says these events are important in helping to connect the community with the issue of homelessness, adding that improving rental assistance programs would be a great way to directly tackle the issue.
The assistants can't work if the apartments don't let them work. So, I mean, they want 3 times the rent. Well, that doesn't work for almost anyone in my situation because even though I'm employed now, I'm not going to get enough hours right off the bat to make 3 times for another 2 months.
There are resources available to those who are at risk of becoming homeless or are currently unhoused, from Christ's Kitchen to the Victoria Salvation Army or Midcoast Family Services. Visit crossroadstoday.com for contact information for these resources. Now, of course, as you know, we're following the special election this Saturday. The Victoria City Council called for the election after Mayor Jeff Bouknight announced he was running for the District 30 House seat. On the ballot is Peter Brown, Carissa Winters, Josephine Solis, Dwayne Crocker, Jacob Salceda, and Robert Bob Constantine. As for Bouknight, he remains in the seat until a new mayor is elected. Bouknight was first elected to the City Council back in 2013 and was elected mayor in 2021. He was then re-elected mayor in May of 2022.
Stay with CrossroadsToday.com as we cover the mayoral special election this Saturday. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. If a runoff is necessary, it would take place on Saturday, March 16th. A Victoria ISD board member is not running for re-election. Mandy Lingle decided not to run for re-election to the Victoria ISD Board District 4 position. Lingle was elected to that position in 2021. In a statement, Lingle said she feels blessed to have had the opportunity to make positive impacts in the community while serving with her fellow trustees on the board.
And Victoria ISD will hold an election this May 4th. The District 2 and District 4 seats are up for grabs. District 4 trustee Mandy Lingle does not plan to seek re-election, and Bridget Marshall holds the District 2 seat. The deadline to apply for a place on the ballot is Friday, February 16th.
Big sports happening. It happens once every 2 years, and today was that day. Here's sports reporter Zach Brown.
Yeah, so today was UIL realignment day. Some big changes around the area, namely Victoria East versus Victoria West. They are splitting up. Victoria East turned in an enrollment number of 2,044. West turned in enrollment of 1,851. The difference in the 193 students, that was enough to bump West down to 5A Division II. Meanwhile, East stays put in Division I. However, the battle for the boot, well, that game's not going anywhere. It is projected to be a Week 2 non-district game of next season. I'll have more from all the other classes, Class 2, 3, and 4A, coming up in just a little bit. Donna Karina, back to you.
All right, Zach, thank you. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see on YouTube,
That's right.
Crossroads Today. And stay with us. A company plans to implant a computer chip in a person's brain. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, how Elon Musk plans to move forward with the latest technology.
Also ahead, Tesla could soon move to Texas. The details straight ahead.
Over 5,000 troops are set to deploy to Europe from Fort Cavazos in Killeen in the spring. KCEN reports the troops from the 1st Cavalry Division will support the United States commitment to NATO. About 5,500 troops and over 2,000 pieces of equipment will travel to Europe to take part in joint and multinational training. Tesla could quit Delaware for Texas. CEO Elon Musk says he plans to tell shareholders to vote on whether to move the company's incorporation to Texas, where it is headquartered in Travis County. This comes after a Delaware court struck down his 2018 pay package. The net value of the compensation Musk received is worth $51 billion.
And Elon Musk stays in the headlines, this time with his startup Neuralink, which is the latest company to implant a computer chip in a person's brain.
This radical technology, it is radical, is still years from reaching us, but experts are already concerned with what it means for the future.
Imagine the joy of connecting with your loved ones, browsing the web, or even playing games using only your thoughts.
Elon Musk's Neuralink is joining a list of companies working on implants with the potential to improve lives and fundamentally change the way we interact with technology.
You can operate a computer or a smartphone by simply thinking about moving. No wires or physical movement are required.
Researchers say a brain-computer interface will allow a person to use their thoughts to control a device like a computer or a phone.
If you can get a device that can detect and interact with brain activity, which is all electrical signals, then you can potentially restore that component of the brain.
If the technology works, it could one day have a wide range of health benefits.
I think this is a case where we definitely want to improve the longevity and the lifespans and the health of everyday people, especially those who have mobility needs.
Experts say we're still years away from the device reaching consumers, but as Congress continues to grapple with how to regulate tech companies in a rapidly changing world, these implants are raising concerns around privacy and transparency.
We need strategic foresight here to think through what this all might look like in the future.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
The cleanup is underway in Houston after fire suppression foam spilled from a hangar at Bush Intercontinental Airport. The spill was caused by a malfunction in the fire suppression system this morning inside United Airlines. At least a dozen employees are reportedly stuck inside due to the foam. Crews from the Houston Fire Department, Houston Public Works, United Airlines, and the Houston airports are on site to manage the cleanup. The foam also appears to be threatening a nearby bayou, although it's unclear how long it will take to clean up the foam.
Well, good evening, everyone. 67 degrees, another very mild day. Got up to 74 this afternoon. We have our high temperature here and our overnight low of 50. Obviously, we're not exactly having winter-like weather. Here we are, February the 1st, and we're looking for mild weather. But the thing is, although your Friday early will be okay, Friday night into Saturday, we may have some stormy weather around here. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We had another nice day with temperatures way above normal for this time of year. A little bit of cloud cover, but no major problems. You might have noticed that the lower clouds were beginning to puff up, look like little cotton balls. That's a good thing. That is the sign of instability, or shall we say vertical movement is possible in the cumulus clouds. And so now that tells me that over the next 24 hours we could see more instability. Now, we don't have anything out over West Texas right now. It's pretty much all here right now. The frontal system right at about Arizona, you can see right about there, and they're not making movies in Hollywood today. It was, they had about 4 inches of rain. They've got about a foot of snow in the mountains, and up here in the Sierra, the big mountains right there, they're looking for 3 to 4 feet out of this particular system. And then you'll notice how everything here kind of looks like popcorn, or I don't know, what do you call that? It looks a little puffy here. Well, that's an unstable atmosphere that's going to give them even more snow for the next couple of days, because there's about 2 or 3 of these storms still to come over there. Now, why do I talk about that? Because eventually they cross the Rockies and move toward our area. In fact, that frontal system in Arizona is going to be here Friday night late. So overnight, we'll be down about 58, 59 degrees. No major problems. And tomorrow, we are looking for about another 72. You'll also notice that we'll have a pretty strong sea breeze blowing in. That's all because of the arrival of that system coming in. Now, this is a very interesting map. The Severe Storms Lab in Norman, Oklahoma. It's the home of OU, right? Marginal is predicting a marginal chance of severe weather in this area. So that would be Friday night into Saturday. So that's when you got to look out for the stuff that, thunder and lightning and heavy rainfall. But it's only going to last for about 8 hours. So it's going to move through here fairly quickly. Future Tracker is now telling me right about there, there's Victoria. When you see the purples, we get the 1 inch. When you see the light blues, we get up to 2 inch. You see right there. And you get the dark purples, and we get maybe more than that. So this is going to be 1 to 2 inches of strong thunderstorms rolling through here Friday night into Saturday morning. Here's another way of looking at it. We go through time, and we go through Friday afternoon, right about there, actually Friday 3 o'clock. So far, so good, right? Then we go through Friday at about 10 o'clock, and we got a big line of storms out here that'll arrive in Victoria probably midnight or later. And then we go overnight, stormy night, and then in 3 in the morning, we've got another line developing just to the east of San Antonio. So the good news that by sunrise, a lot of it's going to blow through here. Not sunrise, it will begin to decrease at sunrise. By noontime, it'll all be pretty much gone. But it'll be rather soggy, and in the morning hours, we're concerned with people getting out. There may be some thunder and lightning out there and some gusty winds in the 30-mile-an-hour range as that blows through. So let's take a look at your extended outlook. We are looking for a 71 tomorrow, partly cloudy with showers by the end of Friday. In Cuero, partly cloudy with showers by the end of the day. And you can see right about here, it's Saturday morning showers, and then clearing up, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are looking pretty good. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone, and we can contact you if there's any problems. Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's sports reporter Zach Brown.
So I talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. Today was UIL realignment. I'll have more on that coming up in sports. So a huge day in the world of Texas high school sports. It's a day that only comes once every 2 years, and that is realignment day. As soon as they cut that box of realignment packets open, coaches anxiously open to see where they would end up and immediately began making phone calls trying to set up their non-district schedules or just look for opponents in general. And while we had a decent amount of changes on the day, one of the bigger stories that happened, the switch up with Victoria East and West. If you missed it earlier, they are splitting up this due to the enrollment number. East had 2,044, West just a shade under 1,900. The difference in the 193 students, that was enough to bump West down to 5A Division II. Meanwhile, East is going to stay in Division I. However, the battle for the boot is not going anywhere. That game is projected to be week 2. Of course, it's going to be a non-district game. Class 4A will also have some shakeup between Cuero, El Campo, and Calhoun. The Sand Crabs, though, will be playing El Campo. They're staying put, and Bay City will be joining them in that district. As for Cuero, they will be moving over districts. That will consist of Ingleside, Robstown, Rockport, Fulton, and Sinton. In Class 3A, Hallettsville and Yoakum will stay put. Their district pretty much looks the exact same. Goliad, Palacios, and Edna will also remain in the same district, but one of their district rivals on the move, and that is Industrial. Head coach Craig Nairn and his Cobras dropping to 3A Division II after turning in a lower enrollment number. They're joining Tidehaven in that tough district. As for the Lavaca River Showdown, well, it's still on. They already have it scheduled reportedly for week 1 of next year, so that rivalry is also going to continue. In Class 2A, Bloomington and Ganado stay put in the same class and district, and 2 powerhouses in that district moving their separate ways. Refugio moving further south, still in 2A Division I, but moving down to District 16. It's got Skidmore, Tynan. Three Rivers is going to move with them, and for the other school, well, that's going to be Shiner. They dropped to 2A Division II, turning in a much lower enrollment number as well. Shiner moving to District 15 with fellow Crossroads schools in Louise and Yorktown in that district. They also have Falls City and Pettis. All right, and while our area head coaches were wondering who would be on their schedule next season, the Washington Commanders were wondering who their head coach was going to be. It is none other than Dan Quinn, who is the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. Quinn held that position since the 2021 season. Before that, he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, who made it to the Super Bowl. I'm sure you remember what happened in that game. They reportedly also interviewed Bill Belichick, but passed. This was the final head coaching vacancy in the NFL. That is it for your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. We're going to be back in a moment. A collection of guitars owned by former 80s rock star sold at an auction for millions.
Finally tonight, you could not take part in this auction if you were in dire straits financially. A collection of guitars owned by Mark Knopfler, the former frontman of Dire Straits from the 80s, remember them?
Yeah.
Sold at auction Thursday for more than $11 million. The auction included over 120 guitars and amps. A 1959 vintage Gibson Les Paul Standard sold for about $883,000. That's a new world auction record for that model. The musician is donating 25% of the total auction price to 3 charities in the U.S. So it's good that instead of what you think, it's not money for nothing.
Well, it's money for nothing.
No.
And your kicks for free.
Yes. Ah, yes.
That's the MTV song.
And I want a lovely weekend of weather for us.
Sure. Yeah, I'll see if I can find one for you.
Well, like here.
Well, the thing is that we've got this little frontal system coming in from the west coast. It's got all day tomorrow to get here. It will be here after midnight, but it's Saturday morning that I want you to know we may have some thunder and lightning rolling through with that line. The good news is moving through quickly, and by Saturday afternoon, you should have clearing skies. So how about you stay in bed late, you get up at noon, and then you go, what's the problem?
Well, Karina, of course, is hosting a big event Saturday morning at Riverside
I know, it's
Park.
so we're still holding our fingers for that.
Well, a lot of people are going to that event, and we want them not to participate, but the Heart people got to decide what they're going to do.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow for sure.
We'll know from tomorrow afternoon,
Better
right
safe.
here, we'll let you know what they're going to do.
That's right. Hopefully it'll work for you.
Yeah, better
And for
safe than
everybody
sorry,
there.
as always.
That's
the key.
Bottom line.
That's
the
right.
rule.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.